What's up, guys? So it's Monday. No. It's Tuesday, which is my Monday. Sort of. Um, we had a long weekend. Did Memorial Day weekend. Really didn't do anything. I did a live stream last night. A lot of people probably caught it. It was fun. Because I didn't have anything for Master Grade Monday, so I needed to put out something. Ended up doing a live unboxing of MG Barbatos. So, being that this is now my Monday, because when I have a holiday that falls on a Monday, which is my normal day off, it rolls to Tuesday. However, they've seen fit to say, hey, we need you to come in, blah, 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 at least since last year, and they've always made me do it because I lived closest. I said no. So they had to call in a different guy. But my current problem is that I really need to do laundry, and I can't find our laundry key. So, last week when I tried to do laundry, the laundry room was closed. Like, for some reason. Like, normally, it's a normal, like, French door. And you gotta use the key to open it up. Good to go. Put the key in, turn it. Can't open it. Okay, try again. Just make sure I didn't do something wonky with the door handle. Nothing. It's like, okay, something ain't right. So it seems like it's locked, not just handle locked or doorknob locked. So it's like, okay, I don't know why. Maybe they need to do maintenance or something. They want to keep people out. So I had to go to the other laundry room, which sucks because it's the one that doesn't have the thing to put money on your card on it. So I just did one load of laundry because that's all I had on the card, and I said I'll just wait until another day and see if the laundry room's open that I can go put money on the card. I'm now to that day and I can't find the freaking key. Now I know I had it in my pocket the other day when I tried to do laundry, so I know I had it because I tried to repeatedly use it, but now I can't find it. I'm looking everywhere in things, and it's a very particular type of key, and they always said that if you lose your laundry key, well, you're kind of screwed. Like, it'll be like $50 to replace, and it's on a bright green like cord, so it's not like I could miss it if it's out in the open. Now I have my normal keys, and I have the wife's spare keys, which I did find the other day. Now I can't find the damn laundry key, and I've got like 3 loads of laundry to do. This is kind of infuriating. And what's funny is, the other day, the neighbor messaged me and said, hey, can I borrow your laundry key? Because I need to do laundry, and I don't know where mine is. And I replied, I was like, I would, but I don't know where it is right now. At the moment, I kind of knew where it was. Like, I wasn't, it was in the pants I wore. And now I'm at the point that I legit don't know where it is. But I know I spent that day essentially in here working. So that's why I'm like looking here. I've already looked through the laundry. I've checked all of my pockets. I've looked everywhere it normally could end up. And I stress the normally part. But it is currently being a very elusive little devil. And it's problematic because I need to do laundry. Now I could try to use the other laundry room, except I need to put money on the card. So it's kind of a problem. I don't like this setup here, but it is what it is. And check the bathroom because I might have taken it out of my pocket in here. Nope. Not on the floor. Not there. And I've checked the laundry basket. I've checked behind the dresser. I've looked under the bed. I've looked in all pockets. I've looked in shoes. I mean, I guess I could dig through here, make sure I didn't somehow get back into here. No, that's nothing but whites. When I say it's infuriating, I mean it. Like, because it's happened before that, I misplaced it, but it ended up being a pretty obvious place. When I did find it, it's like, oh, okay, that made sense. Okay, not under the bed. Not back there. Oh, we definitely need to vacuum. And it's been 1 week. That's the messed up part. It's it's only been a week and I somehow can't find it. Check the drawers. Just in case. You just never know. Like I said, it's bright green. Because the thing is, it's also the key for the pool area. Not that we go to the pool very often, but if we wanted to. Checking amongst the towels. Yes, this is an adventure in trying to find the keys. Because, we're not desperate for laundry, so to speak, but do have to do at least a couple of loads worth of towels here. Kick over some shoes. Nothing there. Nothing in the closet that I can see. I didn't hang up any pants or anything. The wifey wasn't here this weekend. So it's not like she knows where any of it, or where it would be. Ow. And I guess the funny thing would be, we got real bad about putting our laundry away, like people do. So last week I had enough, so I did that one load of laundry and then just put away all the laundry that had been out for weeks, clean laundry that had just never gotten put away. So I went ahead and did that, and I had the key on me then. That's why I'm it would be nice to be able to find it now. I don't know why it would be back there, but at this point I'll take anything. And I keep coming back to my room because I did spend a good bit of the day in here. Speaking of which, I need to get back on Mini-Tall too. That's an afternoon's worth of work to get that finished. And yeah, I do keep reaching into my pocket because it's one of those situations where it could somehow materialize, Don't ask me how, but it definitely could just suddenly materialize. Nothing there. It's not on the desk. It's not on any of my shelves that I can see. Don't think it's down there. Shouldn't be. Under here. Up under the review desk. Okay, move these guys. And of course, I'm cleaning my room up, putting stuff away. Just hopefully I didn't accidentally toss it in anywhere. It's not likely, but you know, it's always possible. Not in there. At least nothing I can see. Turn this house fucking upside down. Ow, that hurt. Not happy. Disappointed. You know what that's from. Okay, that's not here. Down it's in here. There's stuff covering that box. Let's look in this thing. Nope, nothing bright green in there. Not that I can see. Okay, G Barbatos box. Get that out the way. These comics real quick. Just make sure it's not in this chair anywhere. Not that I can see. Can you sense the frustration? It's down there. No reason for it to be. Almost feels like I'm being pranked. Okay, look over here. Gotta look in all the places it definitely shouldn't be. Just to make sure. And then the Goku bag. Just when I'm convinced it's not under there, it's not in. Hold on. I have a pair of shorts that pocket is ripped and stuff can fall further down. That wasn't it. What is that? Is that her headset? Hold on. No, that's for the Joy-Cons. Throw his old boots away. Okay. I might just give up. I don't know why it would be outside, but may as well look. Patio. Just filthy. And with all the rain we got this weekend, patio just got soaked. It's like, unless we find a way to put up some kind of guard to protect any furniture we put out there, anything, it's just gonna get kind of trashed if we do it out there. Alright, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And then I guess I'm gonna start turning over couches or something. Because the only thing I can think is it got inside the couch cushions. And I can't reach deep enough to find them. Because I don't have any other... Literally do not know where else I can look. Going through the wife's school bag just in case she hasn't even been to school in a few days. Okay. Okay, so update. Did not find the key yet. I'm going to dig into the couch because I have the innate ability to pass out on the couch for hours at a time, so it's entirely possible it fell out of my pocket and is inside the couch somewhere, um, or underneath the couch. And with the way the foot frame is, I could just be sliding it back and forth. I'll look in a minute. Um, I did just scan back through Facebook. Um, how you do your memories or whatever timeline, however you want to look at that. And this day 4 years ago, our first apartment flooded, and that it can't help but bring back some anxiety from that day. That is where my rain anxiety that I have now, that I talked about earlier in the vlog, that's where that comes from. Because, I mean, like, a lot of people definitely had it worse in that storm. And in the storms around that, there were the tax day floods, the Memorial Day floods, and then Hurricane Harvey, like, just back to back in the course of 2 years. And, thousands of people flooded during Harvey. Hundreds, and, there still were thousands of people who flooded during the Memorial Day storms that year. But it went from it went from, wow, this is a crazy storm, like the lightning was ridiculous, then the power went out, and then the rain was coming down sideways in like the heaviest sheets, and like the wife only worked like not 3 minutes away, literally right down the street, and she was worried she couldn't get home. And when she did, we were just watching the storm, and I was even doing Facebook Live, and Facebook Live was brand new. And I'm dealing with a leak which is almost identical to the leak I have now, where it was coming down from the window frame. So ironically, in the Shoky cave, the old Shoky cave, in the window that wasn't a review set back then, it was just a build desk, was sitting in front of, was just pouring with water. So what I tried to do was block it with towels and comforter. I was literally, our old comforter we weren't using, I was nailing it to the edges as tight as it would go, and then packing it with towels. While I'm dealing with that, the wifey walks out to go grab something else and realizes there's water coming in our front door. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I just moved everything out of the way from the window, leave the thing nailed up, because it's still sort of helping. I mean, it was coming down like I've never seen before in my life. I've been out in torrential downpours, I've worked through them. Even since, it was so much rain in such a short amount of time. The storm didn't last, that one particular storm didn't last but like a couple hours, but it just never stopped. It was just so much fucking rain, it was insane. So we went and we grabbed all the towels that we had left, started blocking up from the front door on the outside to where it would slow things down, and then built basically a little mound right outside the door, a little dam of towels and stuff. And then we were trying to deal with the back door, not the back door, the window again. And then that's when we noticed it was just coming in regardless, and we noticed it's wet inside the bedroom. That's when we discovered that the water's coming through the walls due to the weep holes of the brick. So the water was so high up outside that it's just coming straight through the weep holes and into the floor and soaking the bedroom floor. So we just started picking everything up, throwing everything on top of the beds. We started grabbing anything loose, all electronics, everything. Started packing them in the tubs we had. Put everything up on tables, put everything high in closets, and we just did what we could. We used both our comforters, every single towel we had. If there were any sheets, we used those. We took the mattress pad, we had like a thick super foam mattress pad. threw it on the floor basically as a giant sponge. And I believe that saved so much of our stuff because it was right in the middle of the floor in the path of the water. And um, between that, my old DVD racks, which we had to throw away after we moved out of there because the whole underside was just completely moldy. They set flat to the ground. There weren't feet on them, so I used those to divert water away from the back bedroom and stuff. So the entire floor of our bedroom, which was up front, that was completely soaked all the way through to the closet. The walls were soaked up like at least 4 inches high. The water had come down through the front door area. We even used our old couch, my old couch I'd had since high school. Um, we flipped it over to use its cushions to help slow the water. We set it in the hallway. As we left, we knew we couldn't stay. We had to go. So our neighbor was trying to knock down his back fence to get himself and his family out, and then he eventually figured out that wasn't going to work. So yeah, we didn't have a way to knock the fence down. Um, so ultimately, we had to go out the front door. Now we had already jammed up everything we could against the front door to keep some water out. So we make it to my mom's. We take my truck. 'Cause, there's gonna be water, so we take my truck. We go all the way to my mom's. It's better there, because they're outside of town, and it was just a really rough night. That was the first night I took Ambien too, because I had to sleep. Here I'm yawning. Panicked, anxiety just higher than literally ever it's ever been in my entire life, and it's hard. Like I still have the Facebook Live videos. I think I deleted one of them because I could not watch it again. It made me panic so much, and part of it wasn't just me. I was trying to be stoic and in control and like, okay, we're gonna logically get through this. We block up this window, it'll be okay, we can at least get through this part. Okay, we block up the front door, we'll do what we can here, we'll be okay, it'll get a little wet, it'll be fine. And it wasn't until the wife, I heard the panic in her voice, that's when I snapped, and I just knew. It's like, okay, look, it's like, it's time to give up, it's time to save and get the fuck out. Um, I can be stronger and I can be focused and I can be logical and emotionless until I hear her panic. And then it's just like, okay, boop, there it is. That's the point. We have to go. Um, so we really didn't lose all that much. Ultimately, we lost the couch, we lost the bed foam, had to throw away those DVD racks. Like I said, those were moldy. It really came down to the fact that they didn't even touch our apartment for a month. We weren't we went and got all of our things we needed. But the bulk of our stuff stayed there. We pulled the carpets out. I put in a dehumidifier and was emptying it 4 times a day. Um, Put salt blocks up. I was the one who tried to do anything to help our apartment. And yeah, it was such a massive event that there was literally no sheetrock to be found in the state of Texas because there were so many places damaged. And the only thing they did was come out and vacuum the carpets and pull out the underlayment. That's the only thing they did to help the situation. They came out in the next storm, which was a few days later, literally during the storm, trying to vacuum carpets that were getting wet continuously. The dude is literally front door open of these apartments trying to vacuum. It's like, dude, it's your... there's nothing you're doing that's helping at all. It's like, we removed the carpet that had been sitting there mildewing for days. I pulled it out. I drug it to the dumpster. I told the manager that's what I was going to do. She lived right across from us, so she could see what we were doing. And they didn't do anything to help us at all. And they had like 90 units either flood from the ground up or from the ceiling down. Because a lot of them, the ceilings collapsed. Or there were massive roof leaks that they just couldn't, the water couldn't drain. They were flat top roofs. Our neighbor across the way, I went and I took pictures in his place of all of the spots that the water was coming down through his ceiling. And he had buckets out and everything like that. And apparently the neighbor above us, which we didn't know, they had a major ceiling collapse from the rain, and nobody told us that. Like, we had moved back in for like 3 or 4 days until the next big storm came, and then it started flooding again, even with them adding a new drain. Um, and so we just said, "Fuck it, we're gone." You know, we'll just gather up all of our electronics, all of our clothes that we need, and we'll just go stay with mom in the meantime. Everything else will be here. I'll come back every other day or so and check on things. And what really sucked, we had just gone grocery shopping, had like $200 worth of food in the fridge, and then power was out for 3 days straight. So all that food went to waste. It sucked. It smelled so bad in there when we went back. Um, Not just from the mold, but the rotting food. Oh yeah, it soaked. It soaked through our kitchen cabinet wall. So like there was the door, and then an entry hall. To one side was the kitchen, the other side was a bedroom, and it soaked through that wall, through the kitchen cabinet, and it was so moist in there that like we had a loaf of bread, and then it was just completely swollen and moldy, and then paper towels that were still in the wrapping had swollen and gotten damp. There was so much wetness, it was insane. And then over time, going back, mold was just beginning. Like, and then as soon as power was restored, I turned the AC on, which is you're never supposed to do. So mold was growing on the walls that got wet. Sheetrock was splitting from the studs that got so soaked that they were expanding. So the sheetrock is all splitting and then getting super brittle. I actually put a hole in the wall without trying to. I was just like tap tap, just tapping it, and it just went. So sheetrock gets wet, it's over. And the water went all the way to the back bedroom, and like almost made it to the back door. Like it was only a couple feet, if I remember correctly, from our back door. Not that it was deep, because I had blocked most of it. So the next day when I went back, or 2 days later when I went back, whatever, I could see how high the water got. Now, mind you, I'd piled all of our towels, comforters, sheets, everything I could find in front of the door. The water was 3 inches above that. So the water on the outside wall was about 9 inches deep. The way the apartments were laid out, the water was coming down the hill, hitting the curb. There was a drain there, but it just couldn't handle it. And then it was just coming past that, just a river. Like when we left, it was a river of water hitting our building like a dam, diverting around it, and then going down the hill towards the other drains, which are already full, and then down towards the bayou or creek or whatever you want to call it, past that, which was already full. So we were flooding from the middle, we were flooding from the back. It was nuts. It just a storm drain system that was never designed to handle that. The gutters were completely useless. They dug all the way down to the storm drains right outside our place and added a whole new drain to try to relieve any of that extra water. It did help in the next storm. I will say it helped. It wasn't good enough because the water still was coming down so hard, so fast that even that drain wasn't dealing with it, and the water starts soaking through the walls. I argued with the manager that the water came straight through the wall and soaked through the bedroom. She's like, no, it didn't. And so I took video of it doing it. Like, because at this point it's just bare concrete, so you could literally watch the water. And then I grabbed the maintenance guy who was standing around. I said, hey, come here. Like, in the middle of the storm. And so he's got his rain jacket on. And I said, right there. You told me that wasn't what was happening, man. And he's like, exactly. Don't sit here and bullshit me. It's just like you can't sit here and bullshit me when it comes down to these things. So after a lot of arguing and filing to get our place repaired professionally, they refused. Said we have a contractor, so we moved out. Now we ended up here, which, as you know, hasn't been great. Better because we're uphill at least, but not great. We've had issues. The water's mostly on the inside, not the outside. It's a problem. Um, Same management, by the way. Um, it just, we really want to leave here and get a new place. And we're that close to being able to do it, but we're also not going to be able to pull it off. And they're cranking up our rent. I don't know if I mentioned that, but rent is going up. Taxes have been going up around here, so all rent has to go up. And we're going to tell them, like, we're going to have to negotiate again, like we did last year. Last year we negotiated. It's like, okay, look, we'll pay this much, but you guys really screwed the pooch on maintenance and everything in the last year. This year has been only about that much better because we've had less problems with upstairs neighbors. In fact, we haven't had neighbors for about technically 7 or 8 months. So that minimized a lot of our problems. Most of our problems are coming from upstairs, not downstairs. So, but they also can't keep maintenance staff now. I know I'm just rambling at this point, but it's like we want to move on with our lives. We want to get better. We're like that close to being out of the debts that are kind of holding us back on our spending. So like we owe just a little bit more on our cars. I think maybe 2 more months. But that would be where our lease ends, and we have to let them know within a certain amount of time that we're not going to renew, and then we'd have to have the money to put down for the next place, which is going to be more expensive, so we'd have nothing saved up. The wife is doing her nursing school thing, and there's one point where she has to do internship for a certain amount of time, which means she has to go without getting paid. For the most part, she could probably work a couple days a week, but then the rest of it she'd have to be off for that. And it's just like a compound problem, trying to save money right now so that we can afford her to do her internship or externship, whichever. Not really a big difference there. Working in your field without getting paid is still the same deal. So we're like a couple months away from hopefully being able to truly make improvements. But even if we decided to go month to month in this place, it would be like, what was the math? It would be about $130 more a month to go month to month. Like, and we just can't swing that. We just can't. We're always on a thin balance here as it is. Always paying things a little bit late just to make sure, because payment schedules be what they are, and just basic expenses. You know, Even with a little bit of a boost here and there, we can only do so much. So like right now we feel super stuck. When we moved here, it was in panic mode. It was, we're done with this bullshit. This was a much better option, and overall it kind of has been. We liked our first apartment, but in retrospect, this is a slightly better one. Now, the community that is around us hasn't always been good. Our neighbors have not always been good. And we're about to lose our good neighbors next door because they're tired of it. I know I'm just rambling, but I can't find the key and I'm just venting right now. But it was just, I watched the video. I watched the video just before hitting this of when we left our apartment, and I feel those feelings every time there's a big storm. I don't mean every time it rains, just every time it's a big storm. It stormed last night, but it wasn't that bad. It woke me up. It was really loud thunder at 2 o'clock in the morning. But like, we had some really bad rains this week, and like I said, in the other chunk of the video, this is flood season. This is just what it is. It's like, between now and like the end of October, there could be torrential flooding. And it goes from here, which is just we start getting these massive rainstorms that aren't even related to hurricane season, and then we roll into hurricane season, which can bring all that same weather plus hurricane. Hurricane Harvey was not a windstorm, it was a rainstorm, and it parked over us for 3 damn days. That was hard because that was only a year after we flooded. And I know a lot of people, personally, who lost their homes in Harvey. And I know less people who lost them in the Memorial Day floods. But this has been a long ramble. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna go ahead and go. I think I'm gonna have another cup of coffee. I think I deserve it. Haven't eaten breakfast either. Um, and I need to find this damn key so I can actually get my day started. Like that was like the main focus of the day was to get that done, get finish the judging, and get maybe one or two reviews knocked out since it's actually really nice weather outside at the moment. I can actually just film and not worry about rain. So, but I'll probably check in later if things change. If I find a damn key, we will have a victory song. We will. Okay, so much later in the day, I kind of got busy with stuff and forgot I was vlogging. Um, I got laundry done. Never found the key. Luckily, my neighbor asked me if I wanted to borrow theirs because I just got theirs back. So hopefully mine will appear up sometime soon. Um, by the way, 3 whole baskets of laundry is hard to carry with 100 yards, but I did it. I won't be feeling it for a while, but I did it. Um, so obviously this is vlog time. Behind the scenes, I did do a quick video earlier addressing a series of comments in person. And some people might be critical of that. I don't really care. It's kind of the point of the video. I just personally, I don't understand why that person decided to do the way they do things the way they decided to. I can't talk. I'm tired. I literally just woke up. I fell asleep waiting on the dryer. The alarm went off on my chest and just woke me up, and then I had to carry that. Either way. So I understand somebody who likes my content, so to speak, has been around for a long time, and wants to see me succeed and grow. Cool. Going about it the way he did, the way he put it, with the sense of I've been here a long time waiting for you to get better and you're just not. There's like some kind of entitlement there. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not really going over it. I'm just expressing extra thoughts. This is a vlog. It is what it is. And, everybody goes through it. Everybody is their own person, is their own channel, or whatever, on YouTube. And your personality goes into it, and unless you're one of those people who's just playing a character, which, happens, but whenever you're playing a character, your personality always does reflect within that character. And it's not that I can't take criticism. I can. Most of the time, I just don't care what critics say. Sometimes it's constructive. Like, there has been some legit constructive criticisms or actual ideas. That's the way I look at it. I've implemented some changes over time, slowly usually, but almost always whenever it came to the point that I needed to change. And that's the way creators should do it. Sorry, back was hurting. It shouldn't ever be at the behest of the thing of your subscribers or a viewer or whatever. Community, comments, all that is important. I won't say that it isn't. But if you're a fan of somebody, you're going to have to understand how they do things. If you've been watching me for years, you really have a good idea of who I am. So it's funny to criticize somebody for who they are. Like normally, if I critique somebody, it's usually on a technical level. Like there's a kind of a newbie reviewer. He does pops and stuff like that. Um, I didn't critique his style. I critiqued his technical things he was doing because he was switching between cameras from his perspective shot of himself to the object. He was switching camera and therefore switching audio, and it sounded worse whenever he switched cameras. And I'm like, hey, keep recording on both cameras and use the audio from this one. It's going to sound better. It's going to be more consistent. And he did, and it worked. And there's things like that I can take to heart as a creator, as a thing. More like technical criticisms make more sense to me. If someone told me to alter my lighting for this reason, like it needs to be this way, or when people told me to change my background, I eventually did it. Um, Mostly because I wanted to do something different, and they proved to be right. But criticizing me just in the way I do things, because that's the way I have it set up, the way I have it in my mind, the way I organize things, the way I flow with things, that's where it's kind of like over the line a little. Especially when people tell me to just get to the point. I'm like, I'm sorry, what is the point? The point of it is to look at the thing and all its aspects and express those things. It's like if I ramble on, if I get stuck in a point or something is difficult for me to do, I generally show that because I prefer the reality of the situation. If I edit something for time reasons, which I do, I do it. I never have a set length. I never have a set goal. And if things run on too long and I do have superfluous footage, I usually delete that and I'll insert like however many minutes later or something silly like that. Because that's my sense of humor. That's my personality. But I don't cut something because someone doesn't deem it important. Because I do. As a creator, you got to do what's good for you. You know, it's just the way I look at it. You're creating for you. Yeah, you have fans who want to see things, but for the most part, especially in this, I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it because I have things I want to express. I have views, opinions, and things that I want to express, and I want to do things ways that I don't see other people doing. And then to have people criticize it because I'm not doing it the way others do is the irony. So, I mean, that's all that is. And it's nothing new. But did I handle it wrong? Mm. I don't know that there's a right way to handle it. Did I act immaturely? Uh huh. That's what I do. I'm sarcastic. I'm an a hole. It is what it is. I don't care. I created the whole secondary channel to take stuff off of the main channel that people didn't want to see there, and that was a criticism. People didn't want to see vlogs over there. People don't want to see most of the action figure stuff there. People said they don't want to see my statues on there. So I moved it all to the secondary channel, this channel. So I listened to criticism. I asked, it's like, hey, do you want me to keep this here? Do you want me to put it over here? And they said, no, take it over there. We don't want to see it. And it was a decent majority. So it's not everybody, but then the people who do want to come over here to see that content too. So I mean, there's that. So it's not that I can't take criticism. Yeah, it does hurt me a little to remove things from the main channel and put them on a second one. One, because I can't make money on them. Two, because that's another chunk of my personality, another chunk of my interests. And if people don't want to see it, it kind of makes me a little sad. Because it's me trying to show off things I like. But we're not all made the same. So, like I said, it's much later in the day. I'm going to watch The Burger Show. technically this is the Burger Show, but it's Burger Scholar Sessions with George Motes. I don't remember if I mentioned this in a previous vlog. Go watch First We Feast. It's where Hot Ones is, the Burger Show, Tacos con Todos, which isn't as good a show. I don't think they had the premise quite down in the same way. You know, it's both a restaurant thing plus an interview with comedians. I like where they're going with it. I think they just, once again, I'm critiquing what they do. The Burger Show totally knows what it's doing. Tacos con Todos is very similar to the Burger Show, but with tacos. But it didn't seem to have an exact point when they started it, and they were just trying to figure it out. And that's fine. A fledgling season of a show, you know, if it's 6 episodes, whoop-de-doo. But you know, a lot of money, time, and effort went into that, especially with guests and going around LA and doing all these things. So, I mean, I want that show to get better. I like taco stuff. I love the comedians that get involved with these things. Jose Trejo is or Jesus Trejo, sorry. We actually saw him a couple of years ago with Bert. He's funny. All the people he interviews were funny. Is both, you know, getting to know the comedians plus checking out awesome taco places. My other criticism would be do them a little bit longer, because I feel like there's a whole lot of content they edit out for time reasons, and I get, for me, that doesn't make sense, obviously. But if you give me like a 20-minute show, 30-minute show, things like that, I'm down. Like Sean in the Wild, that was a fun one. You know, when Sean was basically doing those two things is how the Burger Show came along, when he went to go hang out with Alvin Kailan, and then he became a part of First We Feast, and then he goes off and does all these other things. I don't know why people are... I'm getting messages all of a sudden as I'm talking. But this one, back on my point, Burger Scholar Sessions, George Motes is like the burger scholar. So that's awesome. If you really want to learn burger history, go watch this man. He's a staple of the Burger Show, and this was his way of continually teaching you how to make burgers and educating you on regional things. It's really, really fun. Go check that out if you haven't. So, and I kind of want to do a series on things I'm watching, because I watch YouTube like all day. Like more than Netflix, more than TV, I'm on YouTube. I'm watching different creators. I'm watching music. I'm watching listening to music, watching reviewers, watching different types of podcasts and things like that. And, you know, I kind of want to talk about those things. So maybe I'll do a thing like that over here on this channel. I don't know. But I'm going to end for right now because I want to relax. My arms still hurt from hauling those over there. That's a lot of laundry. I didn't even realize it because I hauled it over there in multiple things. So that's the end of this vlog. I know it was a long one. That rant earlier was a really long one. So I hope everyone is safe out there with everything going on in the world. With, you know, the beer flu. And then also weather, because this is the nasty part of the year. Like for like the next 7 months, it's like questionable hell outside. Honestly, really hoping we have a very hot, dry summer again, because that's a decent way to keep out flooding, at least. So, but I'll see you guys later. Remember, as always, it doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be loud. Yeah, that's the sign off. Go buy the shirt. It's on the Shoky store.